Have you ever experienced a moment so perfectly timed, so perfectly aligned, that you couldn't help but feel the universe was speaking directly to you? That is no coincidence. When you see a sign, whether it's a number, a phrase, a chance encounter, or a sudden thought, it is the universe whispering that it has a grand plan for you. Pay attention. Notice it. Feel it deeply. Your attention is a magnet. Where you focus, energy flows. When you notice these signs, it is not random. You are being guided, gently, toward what you are meant to receive. It may appear small at first, but these little nudges are building toward something monumental. Trust them. Follow them. Do not doubt the power of your imagination. What you imagine with feeling and conviction is already shaping your reality. The universe moves to your inner world first. Your inner vision, your sense of fulfillment, your awareness of already having what you desire, these are the forces that manifest the extraordinary in your life. You may not see the full picture yet, but that is the nature of the invisible. Trust it. Trust that the unseen hands of creation are orchestrating every detail of your life. Your present circumstances are not the measure of your future. They are merely the stage for the unfolding of your destiny. Live as if your desires have already been fulfilled. Feel them, speak them, see them in your mind's eye. When you act as if your life is already complete, you align yourself with the energy of manifestation. The universe responds to feeling, to conviction, to the certainty that what you want is already yours. Align your emotion with your expectation. Excitement, gratitude, and faith are not just feelings. They are signals to the universe that you are ready. Ready to receive. Ready to step into your destiny. Ready to embrace the grand plan designed uniquely for you. So when you see a sign today, do not dismiss it. It is a message, a pointer, a golden thread in the tapestry of your life. It says, you are on the path. Your destiny is calling. Prepare yourself for greatness. Every moment of your life is brimming with messages from the
Beloved, today I remind you of a profound truth. You are the author of your family's story. Though you may have inherited a script filled with struggle, limitation, or fear, you are not bound to follow it. You are the one chosen to break the cycle, to rewrite the narrative, and to lead your family into a new era of possibility and abundance. The circumstances of your life are not fixed, nor are they dictated by the external world. They are reflections, mere shadows cast by the beliefs and assumptions you hold within. To understand this is to recognize an extraordinary truth. You are the operant power. Everything in your life begins and ends with you. It is not fate, chance, or the will of others that determines your reality. It is you, through your thoughts, feelings, and inner convictions. From the moment you awaken to this power, the world ceases to act upon you, and you begin to act upon it. This shift is profound. The obstacles you once believed were insurmountable are no longer external barriers. They are constructs of the mind, waiting to dissolve the moment you decide differently. You are not at the mercy of circumstances, for circumstances are the fruit of your consciousness. Change your consciousness, and you change your world. Take a moment to reflect on the events of your life. Notice how often they align with the thoughts you've entertained most persistently. When you worried, did not those fears find expression in your reality? When you believed in success or joy, did not those outcomes manifest? You may wonder, if I am the operant power, this is no coincidence. Why does life sometimes seem so uncontrollable? The law that declares your world is nothing but your consciousness external. Most people live their lives on autopilot, unaware that their habitual thoughts and feelings are shaping their experiences. They react to the world around them, believing it to be the cause of their emotions, when in truth, It is their emotions that perpetuate the conditions they see. To become the conscious operant power, you must break free from this cycle of reaction and assume responsibility for the state of your inner world. This is not a task of force or struggle. It is not about willing things into being through sheer effort. Your power lies not in effort but in assumption. To assume something is to take it as true, to feel as though it is already a reality, regardless of the evidence before you. This is the secret to creation. The outer world must conform to the inner state, for the two are inseparably linked, as within, so without. Imagine now the life you desire. Close your eyes and feel it as if it were already yours. Let the joy, the peace, and the fulfillment of that vision wash over you. This is not daydreaming, it is the deliberate act of creation. In this moment, you are planting a seed in the fertile soil of your current reality contradicts this vision. And just as a seed, how can I believe in something I cannot see, understand? So too must your assumption what you see is simply the result of past assumptions. It is not a reflection of what must be, it is a reflection of what has been. The present moment is always a doorway, offering you the opportunity to step into a new state of being. What you focus on now becomes the blueprint for your future. As the operant power, you are not limited by anything outside of yourself. No situation is too dire, no history too entrenched, to be transformed. Your power is limitless because it stems from the infinite source within you. When you fully embrace this truth, you will find that miracles are not rare occurrences, they are the natural result of living in harmony with your creative nature. Let this knowledge empower you. When faced with challenges, remind yourself of who you are, the creator of reality. When doubt or fear creeps in, return to the truth. You are the operant power, the one who decides what is real and what is possible. Your world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. This is your moment to awaken, to step into the fullness of your creative power. Release the beliefs that no longer serve you. Assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled, and walk in that assumption with unwavering faith. The world will respond to you, for it has no choice. You are the operant power. Act as such, and watch as your life transforms in ways you once thought impossible. You stand at a pivotal moment, one that generations before you may never have imagined. The patterns, struggles, and beliefs that have defined your family story up until now do not have to continue. You are the chain breaker. You are the one chosen to end the cycles of limitation and bring forth a new legacy. This role is not a burden, but a sacred responsibility, a calling that resonates deep within your soul. Throughout time, families have carried stories of scarcity, pain, fear, and survival. These narratives often pass unnoticed from one generation to the next, etched into the fabric of our subconscious minds. They shape our beliefs about what is possible, acceptable, and inevitable. Yet these stories are not immutable laws, they are merely assumptions carried forward, perpetuated by the belief that this is how things have always been. But just because something has always been does not mean it must always be. You have the power to break the chain. The limitations you see in your family story are illusions, held together by the weight of repetition. They are not who you are, and they are not who your family is destined to be. By stepping into your role as the chain breaker, you claim the ability to rewrite the narrative, to bring an end to the cycles that no longer serve you or those you love. This work is profound because it transforms not just your life but the lives of everyone connected to you, past, present, and future. Breaking the chain begins with awareness. Look honestly at the patterns in your family's history. Perhaps there is a cycle of financial struggle, unfulfilled dreams, broken relationships, or unspoken pain. These patterns may feel deeply entrenched, but they are not permanent. Recognize them for what they are: reflections of past beliefs, not dictates of the future. Awareness allows you to shine a light on what has been hidden and bring it into the realm of conscious choice. Once you have identified the chain, the next step is to decide. Decide that the story ends with you. This decision must be unwavering, for it is the foundation upon which transformation is built. Declare to yourself and the universe that you will no longer carry the weight of these limitations. You will no longer accept them as your truth or allow them to dictate your family's future. This decision is a profound act of liberation, not only for you but for those who came before and those who will come after. To break the chain, you must embrace a new vision. It is not enough to reject the old story, you must create a new one to replace it. Imagine what your family's legacy could be: one of abundance, love, strength, and fulfillment. Hold this vision in your mind and feel it as though it is already real. Let this vision guide your thoughts, actions, and decisions. You are planting the seeds of a new reality, one that will grow and flourish through your faith and persistence. This process requires courage, for breaking the chain often means stepping into the unknown. It may feel uncomfortable to challenge the beliefs and behaviors that have been ingrained in your family for generations. You may face resistance both from within yourself and from others who are still bound by the old story. But remember, the discomfort is temporary, and the reward is freedom. By choosing to stand firm in your new vision, you pave the way for transformation. As the chain breaker, you must also cultivate forgiveness, not just for others, but for yourself. Forgive the choices and actions that have contributed to the cycles you are breaking. Understand that everyone, including you, has been doing the best they could with the beliefs they held. Forgiveness does not mean condoning the past, it means releasing its hold on you. It allows you to move forward unburdened, free to create a new story. Your role as the chain breaker is not just about ending cycles of pain, it is about creating a legacy of empowerment. Imagine the joy and freedom you will bring to future generations. They will look back and see you as the one who dared to believe in something greater, who had the courage to break free and the love to set a new standard. You are not just changing your own life, you are altering the trajectory of countless lives to come. Remember, this is a journey, not a single act. There may be moments of doubt, but hold steadfast to the truth. You have the power to create change. The chains that bind are not stronger than the spirit within you. You are not defined by your family's past, you are the one chosen to define its future. Every step you take in breaking the chain is a step toward a life of possibility and freedom. You are the chain breaker. Trust in this truth, act from it, and watch as the world around you begins to transform. The power is within you, and the time is now. Rewrite the story. The legacy you leave will echo far beyond your lifetime. Imagination is the divine force within you, the creative power that shapes the reality you experience. Though it may seem intangible, fleeting, or even trivial, your imagination is the origin of all that is seen and unseen in your life. The world around you, the circumstances, relationships, and opportunities is not separate from you. It is a mirror reflecting the contents of your imagination. To truly grasp this is to unlock a limitless potential to transform your life and manifest your deepest desires. Your imagination is not bound by the constraints of the physical world. It operates beyond the limits of time, space, and logic. It is the place where everything begins. When you close your eyes and envision the life you wish to lead, you are not simply entertaining a fantasy, you are engaging in the most sacred act of creation. The images, feelings, and assumptions you hold within your imagination set the stage for your outer world. This is not mere metaphor, it is law. As you imagine, so shall it be. Many people misunderstand the power of imagination because they allow it to be dictated by the evidence of their senses. They see lack and imagine more lack. They experience rejection and imagine a life of loneliness. In doing so, they unknowingly perpetuate the very circumstances they wish to escape. But the truth is this: your imagination is not meant to reflect the world, it is meant to create it. When you use your imagination intentionally, you cease to be a victim of your environment and become the master of your destiny. The process begins with a simple yet profound realization: nothing exists outside of you that did not first exist within you. Every achievement, every relationship, every challenge you face has its roots in the assumptions you have held. These assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious, shape the choices you make, the actions you take, and the opportunities you perceive. Change your assumptions, and your reality must change to match them. Imagine for a moment the life you desire. See it clearly in your mind. Where are you? What are you doing? How do you feel? Allow yourself to immerse in this vision, not as a distant dream but as a present reality. Feel the joy, the peace, the fulfillment as though it is already yours. This act of living in the end, of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, is the secret to transforming your life. It is not enough to merely see the vision, you must feel it, for feeling is the bridge between imagination and manifestation. Doubt may arise, whispering that this is foolish, that reality is fixed and unchangeable. But remember, the world you see is not as solid as it seems. It is fluid, malleable and responsive to the energy you project through your imagination. The doubts and fears you feel are remnants of old assumptions, echoes of a past state of being. They hold no power unless you allow them to. Consistency is key. Just as a gardener tends to their seeds, ensuring they are watered and nurtured, you must tend to the seeds of your imagination. Do not allow negative thoughts or external circumstances to uproot the vision you hold. Persist in your assumption, no matter how long it takes. The timing of manifestation is not your concern. Your task is to maintain unwavering faith in the reality of your desire. Imagination is not limited to grand visions of success or achievement. It operates in every moment, shaping even the smallest details of your life. When you assume that people are kind, they will be. When you imagine yourself confident, opportunities will align to reflect that state. Your imagination colors every interaction, every decision, and every experience. To use it consciously is to direct your life with intention and purpose. Some may argue that this is wishful thinking, that action is the only path to change. But action without imagination is aimless. It is like wandering through a forest without a map, hoping to stumble upon your destination. Imagination provides the blueprint. Action is simply the means through which it unfolds. When your imagination is aligned with your desire, your actions become inspired and effortless, leading you naturally to the fulfillment of your vision. The greatest thinkers, artists, and innovators throughout history have understood the power of imagination. They saw beyond the limitations of their current reality and dared to dream of something greater. Their visions, held with conviction, became the reality we now take for granted. You, too, possess this power. It is not reserved for the extraordinary, it is the birthright of every human being. Your imagination shapes reality because it is the creative force within you. Trust it. Use it. When the world feels heavy, retreat into your imagination and reshape it. When circumstances seem dire, imagine a brighter future. Then, you are not powerless, you are the creator of your experience. Begin now to imagine boldly, live in the feeling of your desires fulfilled, and watch as the world transforms to reflect the beauty and abundance you hold within. Every life is shaped not by the external circumstances it encounters, but by the beliefs held within. These beliefs, often unexamined and deeply ingrained, act as the lens through which we perceive the world. When these beliefs are expansive, they open doors to infinite possibilities. But when they are limiting, they act as invisible chains, confining us to a reality far smaller than the one we are capable of creating. To rise above limiting beliefs is to reclaim your inherent power, to step into a world where anything becomes possible. Limiting beliefs often begin subtly, planted in our minds by experiences, cultural norms, or the words of others. A failure in childhood may seed the belief that you are not good enough. A repeated struggle might solidify the notion that success is reserved for others. These beliefs then grow, unchallenged, until they become the silent architects of our lives. We accept them as truth, unaware that they are nothing more than assumptions we've internalized. But what is a belief, truly? It is nothing more than a thought repeated so often that it becomes your reality. It is not an absolute truth, nor is it immovable. Beliefs can be questioned, dismantled, and replaced. The moment you recognize this, you begin the journey to rise above them. You are not your beliefs, you are the consciousness that chooses them. This distinction is the key to liberation. To rise above limiting beliefs, you must first become aware of them. Pay attention to the thoughts that arise when you imagine pursuing your dreams. Do you hear a voice saying, "I can't do that," or "That's impossible for someone like me"? These are your limiting beliefs speaking through doubt and fear. Do not push them away or ignore them instead. Observe them with curiosity. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Is it truly mine, or did I inherit it from someone else? Once you have identified a limiting belief, question its validity. A belief only holds power if you accept it as true. Challenge it by seeking evidence to the contrary. For example, if you believe you are not capable of achieving success, look for moments in your life where you have succeeded, no matter how small. These moments serve as proof that the belief is not absolute. In questioning your beliefs, you weaken their hold over you. But awareness and questioning are only the beginning. To truly rise above limiting beliefs, you must replace them with empowering ones. This is where imagination becomes your greatest tool. Envision a version of yourself free from the belief that has held you back. What does this version of you look like? How do they act? How do they feel? Immerse yourself in this vision, not as a distant possibility, but as a present reality. Assume the identity of the person who has already risen above the limitation. When you act from this place, your beliefs will begin to shift. Understand that rising above limiting beliefs is not an overnight transformation. These beliefs have been with you for years, perhaps decades. They have shaped your habits, your thoughts, and even your identity. Be patient with yourself as you dismantle them. Each time you catch yourself falling into an old pattern of thought, gently redirect your focus to the new belief you are cultivating. Consistency in this practice will lead to profound change. Another essential aspect of overcoming limiting beliefs is to surround yourself with environments and people that support your growth. A negative or limiting environment can reinforce the very beliefs you are trying to break free from. Seek out those who inspire and uplift you, those who see your potential even when you cannot. Their belief in you can act as a bridge, helping you move closer to believing in yourself. Action is also a powerful antidote to limiting beliefs. Often these beliefs thrive because we hesitate, paralyzed by fear or doubt. But when you take even a small step toward your desires, you gather evidence that the belief is false. Each action you take chips away at the barrier, building confidence and momentum. Over time, what once seemed insurmountable becomes natural and effortless. The journey to rise above limiting beliefs is not merely about achieving external goals. It is about stepping into the fullness of who you are. When you release these beliefs, you reconnect with the limitless potential within you. You realize that the only boundaries that exist are those you've accepted, and with this realization you can transcend them. As you rise above your limiting beliefs, you also pave the way for others to do the same. Your courage and transformation become a beacon, showing those around you that it is possible to break free. You are not just liberating yourself, you are contributing to a world where more people live in alignment with their highest potential. You have the power to rise above any belief that no longer serves you. It begins with awareness, grows through imagination and action, and culminates in a life of freedom and possibility. You are not defined by the beliefs you've held, you are defined by the courage to release them. The moment you decide to let go, the chains will fall away, revealing a horizon of infinite potential. Rise and step into the greatness that has always been within you. Fulfillment is not something you wait for or chase, it is a state of being that you can claim right now. The key lies in assuming the feeling of fulfillment as if it is already yours. This is not wishful thinking, but a profound act of creation. The world you experience, the opportunities you attract, and the relationships you build are all reflections of the feelings you embody. By aligning your inner state with the feeling of your desires fulfilled, you set the stage for their manifestation. Everything begins within. The outer world is not a separate reality, but a projection of your inner state. What you feel deeply and persistently, you eventually experience. Many people live in a state of lack, focusing on what they don't have and feeling the absence of their desires. This state perpetuates itself, as the world simply mirrors back the energy they project. The shift happens when you choose to feel as though your desires are already a part of your life, even before they materialize. To assume the feeling of fulfillment, start by identifying what you truly desire. What is it that you long for? Whether it's love, success, health, or peace, allow yourself to imagine what your life would look and feel like if that desire were already realized. Do not concern yourself with how it will come to pass. Your job is not to figure out the details, but to embody the end result. When you focus on the how, you engage with doubt and limitation. Instead, immerse yourself in the what and why, letting the feeling of your wish fulfilled take center stage. Close your eyes and create a vivid mental picture of your fulfilled desire. Place yourself in the scene as though you are living it right now. What do you see around you? Who is with you? What are you doing? Most importantly, how does it feel? Is it a feeling of joy, peace, or gratitude? Let that feeling wash over you, saturating your entire being. This is not an act of imagination for imagination's sake. It is an act of creation. Feeling is the secret ingredient that bridges the gap between your inner world and your outer reality. The universe responds to your feelings, not your words or thoughts alone. You may say you want abundance, but if you feel scarcity, scarcity is what you will experience. Conversely, if you feel abundant, even in the absence of external evidence, abundance will find its way to you. The feeling you consistently hold becomes the vibration you emit, and the law of attraction ensures that this vibration shapes your experience. Doubt is often the biggest obstacle to assuming the feeling of fulfillment. The rational mind may argue that your current reality does not match the feeling you are cultivating. It may remind you of past failures or insist that your desires are unrealistic. Understand that these doubts are merely remnants of old beliefs, reflections of a past state of being. They have no power over you unless you give them attention. Persist in your chosen feeling, regardless of what your senses tell you, and the doubts will lose their grip. Persistence is crucial, because the world you see is the result of your past feelings and assumptions. When you begin to assume the feeling of fulfillment, there may be a delay before the outer world adjusts to match your inner state. During this time, it is easy to fall back into old patterns of doubt or frustration. Resist the urge to waver. Trust the process, knowing that your inner work is already setting things in motion. The longer you remain faithful to the feeling, the sooner you will see its reflection in your life. Living in the feeling of fulfillment is not about ignoring your current circumstances or pretending they don't exist. It is about recognizing that your current reality is temporary and malleable, a result of previous assumptions. By assuming the feeling of your desired state, you begin to rewrite the script, creating a new story for your life. This requires faith not in something external, but in your own creative power. As you practice assuming the feeling of fulfillment, you will notice subtle changes in your thoughts, actions, and perceptions. You may find yourself drawn to opportunities or making decisions that align with your desires. This is not coincidence, it is the natural unfolding of your inner state into the outer world. You are no longer reacting to life but creating it deliberately. The beauty of this practice is that it empowers you to live fully in the present. When you assume the feeling of fulfillment, you are no longer waiting for some future event to bring you happiness or peace. You claim those feelings now, and in doing so, you transform your life. This is the essence of true power, the ability to shape your reality from within. Transformation is the cornerstone of any meaningful change in life. It is not merely a shift in circumstances or a collection of new habits. It is a profound inner metamorphosis that reshapes how you perceive yourself and the world. Your transformation is the key to unlocking the life you desire, because the external world is nothing more than a reflection of your internal state. When you change within, everything around you must inevitably align with that change. The process of transformation begins with a decision to no longer accept the limitations you have placed upon yourself or the ones you have unconsciously inherited from others. But often we live within invisible boundaries, defined by past experiences, societal expectations, or deeply ingrained beliefs. These boundaries feel real, but they are nothing more than constructs of the mind. To transform is to see these constructs for what they are and to rise above them. It is to declare that you are not defined by your past, your current circumstances, or even your previous self-concept. Once you have envisioned your transformed self, you must live in alignment with that vision. This means thinking, feeling and acting as though your transformation is already complete. It may feel unfamiliar or even uncomfortable at first, but this is a natural part of the process. The mind will resist, clinging to the safety of old patterns. But as you persist, these patterns will fade, replaced by the new identity you have chosen. Transformation also requires letting go. You cannot step into a new version of yourself while holding on to everything from the old one. This may mean releasing certain beliefs, habits, or even relationships that no longer align with your growth. Letting go can be difficult, as it often involves stepping into the unknown. But the unknown is where transformation happens. It is the space of infinite possibility, free from the constraints of your past. As you undergo transformation, challenges will arise. These challenges are not obstacles, they are opportunities to solidify your growth. Each challenge invites you to reaffirm your new identity, to choose your transformation over your old patterns. See them as stepping stones, not setbacks. They are evidence that change is occurring, that the old is making way for the new. One of the most powerful aspects of transformation is its ripple effect. When you change, you inspire change in others. Your growth becomes a beacon, showing those around you what is possible. This does not mean imposing your journey on others. It means living authentically and allowing your transformation to speak for itself. By becoming the best version of yourself, you contribute to the collective growth of humanity. Your transformation is the key, because no one else can do it for you. The power to change lies within you, not in external circumstances or other people. It is a deeply personal journey, one that requires courage, faith, and persistence. But the rewards are immeasurable. As you transform, you discover a life that feels aligned, abundant, and meaningful, a life that reflects the truth of who you are. Transformation is not a destination but an ongoing process. There is no finished version of you, only continuous growth and evolution. Each step you take brings you closer to your highest potential, yet the journey itself is the reward. Embrace it fully, knowing that with every choice to grow, you are unlocking the infinite possibilities that reside within you. Your transformation is the key to everything you seek. In conclusion, your transformation is not only the key to unlocking the life you desire, but the doorway to discovering your truest self. It is a journey of alignment, imagination, and courage, a process of letting go of limitations and stepping into the fullness of your potential. Every thought, feeling, and action you choose in alignment with your vision shapes your reality and creates a ripple effect of growth that extends beyond you. Challenges along the way are not barriers but opportunities, guiding you closer to your highest self. Remember, the power to transform lies entirely within you. It is not a matter of waiting for circumstances to change, but of boldly claiming the change you seek from within. Trust in the process, persist in your vision, and allow the beauty of your growth to unfold. Thank you for taking this journey of self-discovery and transformation. May your path be filled with clarity, strength, and the joy of knowing that you hold the key to creating the life you truly deserve. You may not always see it, but there is a force working on your behalf, guiding your steps, and orchestrating everything in ways beyond your comprehension. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment to act, it's about trusting that the perfect moment is already being created for you. There is a force, an invisible hand, working on your behalf at this very moment. Though you cannot always see it, feel it, or touch it, it is there, guiding your path and arranging things in ways that you may not yet understand. Trusting in this invisible hand requires a deep faith that something beyond your limited perception is orchestrating the events of your life. It asks you to believe that there is a greater intelligence at work, a divine force that moves things in your favor, even when the circumstances seem difficult or uncertain. In every moment, something is happening that you may not be aware of. The universe is constantly at work, bringing your desires into alignment with your reality, orchestrating events and circumstances that are leading you to the fulfillment of your deepest wishes. It's important to recognize that this invisible hand operates not by chance, but through a higher order. Every moment, every experience is part of a greater plan that you may not fully comprehend at the time. Trusting this means surrendering the need to understand every single detail and knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. You see, the mind loves to know and control. We want to plan, to decide, to predict outcomes. But the truth is, the more we try to control, the less we allow this invisible force to guide us. The beauty of trusting the invisible hand is that it works behind the scenes, often in ways that you would never expect. What may appear as setbacks or challenges are, in fact, stepping stones leading you to your greater purpose. The invisible hand is not confined by your limited view of how things should be. It's not subject to your expectations, because it sees a far broader picture than you can ever imagine. This hand is always there, working even when you cannot see the results. When you face difficulty or hardship, it may seem as though nothing is happening, but trust that the foundation for your success is being laid beneath the surface. Sometimes we feel alone or unsupported, and it can feel as if the world is working against us. However, this is precisely when the invisible hand is closest, guiding you toward lessons that will ultimately bring you greater strength, wisdom, and understanding. You are being prepared for the opportunities that lie ahead, even if you cannot yet see them. To trust this invisible force requires patience. It's the patience to know that the right outcomes are coming, even if they are not yet visible in your life. This trust demands that you let go of control and stop trying to force things to happen. It's the understanding that you are part of something much bigger than yourself, and that everything is happening for your ultimate good. Just because you do not see immediate results does not mean that nothing is happening. Behind the scenes, everything is aligning. The invisible hand is not random, nor does it work in isolation. It operates through your beliefs, your thoughts, and your imagination. What you envision for your life is the signal that the universe reads and responds to. When you imagine a future where your desires are already fulfilled, when you truly believe that what you want is on its way, you align with this higher power. Your imagination is not just a mental exercise, it is the very tool that activates the invisible hand to work on your behalf. What you believe, you create. When you believe that the universe is supporting you, it will move mountains to bring that belief into reality. Sometimes trusting this invisible hand requires letting go of past doubts or fears that have clouded your judgment. We have all experienced moments of uncertainty, where things didn't seem to be going our way, and we questioned whether the universe was really looking out for us. But this is where trust becomes a practice. It's about choosing to believe, even when the evidence in front of you says otherwise. Trusting in the invisible hand means knowing, deep down, that you are always being guided toward what is best for you, even if it doesn't appear that way in the moment. This force operates on divine timing. You may not always understand why things are happening in a certain order or why certain people or opportunities come into your life at specific times. But this timing is perfect. The invisible hand knows when you are ready for the next step, and it knows what you need to reach your full potential. Trust that everything is unfolding in its own perfect rhythm, and that you are exactly where you need to be right now. The more you learn to trust this invisible hand, the more you will begin to see its influence in your life. You'll start noticing small signs, synchronicities, and moments of grace that affirm you are being guided. This trust invites peace into your life, knowing that you are never alone, that there is always a force working on your behalf, even when you cannot see it. Trusting in the invisible hand is the ultimate act of surrender, of faith, and of allowing. When you trust that something greater than yourself is at work, it frees you from the need to control every outcome. It allows you to live fully in the present moment, knowing that everything you desire is already on its way. So trust in the invisible hand. Trust that it is working behind the scenes, even when you can't see it, and trust that everything you want is already being prepared for you. Imagination is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It is not merely a fleeting fantasy or a momentary escape from reality. It is the creative power that shapes our lives and brings our desires into being. The power of imagination lies in its ability to shape the world we experience, to construct the future we wish to live in, and to align us with the greater forces of the universe that are working on our behalf. When we truly understand the power of imagination, we realize that it is the key to unlocking everything we desire. It is the act of mentally visualizing or creating images in the mind. It allows us to see things that have not yet manifested in the physical world, to feel emotions that arise from these images, and to experience outcomes before they materialize. This ability is far more than just a tool for daydreaming. It is the means by which we plant seeds for our future. The thoughts, images, and feelings we nurture in our minds today create the circumstances of tomorrow. By directing our imagination toward what we desire, we align with the infinite possibilities that are available to us. When we imagine, we are not merely wishing or hoping for something, we are actively participating in the creation of our reality. The mind does not distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. What you create in your imagination is as real to your subconscious as anything in the physical world. The more vivid and detailed the images you form in your mind, the more they impress themselves upon your subconscious, which then works to bring them into existence. This is not just a metaphor, it is a literal process that takes place within the mind and the universe. The power of imagination is particularly significant because it has the ability to bridge the gap between where we are and where we want to be. When we look at our current circumstances and feel that something is lacking, whether it's success, love, wealth, or health, our imagination offers us a means of bridging the gap. By visualizing the reality we want, we send a signal to the universe that we are ready to receive it. Imagination serves as the blueprint for what we are calling into our lives. It is the first step in the manifestation process. Through imagination, we begin to experience the emotions and sensations that are tied to the fulfillment of our desires. It's not enough to simply imagine a desired outcome. We must feel the joy, gratitude, and excitement as if it has already happened. The emotional charge we attach to our thoughts amplifies their creative power. The more intensely we can immerse ourselves in the feeling of already having what we want, the more quickly the universe aligns to bring it to us. This is the secret. It's not about waiting for the world to change so you can feel better. It's about feeling better first, and then watching the world change in response. Imagination also allows us to transcend the limitations of our current situation. It invites us to dream beyond the constraints of the present moment. When we rely only on what we can see or experience in the physical world, we limit ourselves to what is currently possible. But imagination has no such boundaries. It allows us to see beyond the facts of our current circumstances and envision a reality that is entirely different. By imagining the life we want to live, we train our minds to focus on what is possible rather than what seems impossible. The more we do this, the more we begin to recognize the opportunities and pathways that are already in front of us. What we imagine becomes the dominant thought in our minds. When we constantly dwell on positive, empowering images and thoughts, our entire state of being shifts. Our actions, beliefs, and decisions align with our imagined reality. In this way, imagination is not just about creating a mental picture, it is about embodying the feelings and attitudes that are necessary to attract what we desire. When you imagine yourself as already successful, abundant, or healthy, your subconscious begins to operate as though these things are already true, and your reality begins to reflect that shift in perception. In the process of imagining, it's essential to recognize that we are tapping into the infinite intelligence that governs the universe. Our imagination is not merely a personal creation, it is connected to a larger, universal mind. When we align our desires with our imagination, we tap into this higher power that knows the fastest and most efficient path to bring our desires into the physical world. Imagination allows us to work in harmony with the flow of the universe, guiding us toward the people, resources, and opportunities we need. There are no limits to what we can imagine. No dream is too big, no desire too extravagant. The power of imagination is limitless because it is tied to the infinite potential of the universe itself. If we can imagine it, it is already within the realm of possibility. The more we practice using this power, the more we will see the results of our imagination in our physical reality. By mastering the power of imagination, we become co-creators of our lives. we begin to understand that everything around us, from the smallest detail to the grandest achievement, was once a thought in someone's mind. Now, the future we are experiencing right now was created by our past imaginations. If we want a different future, we must imagine it into existence today. The power of imagination is not just a passive dream, it is a dynamic force that shapes the course of our lives. When we begin to use this power intentionally, we align ourselves with the universe's creative force, and we become unstoppable. Patience is often seen as a virtue, but its true power is far deeper than a mere moral quality. It is the key that unlocks the door to manifestation, transformation, and fulfillment. In a world that demands instant results and constant movement, patience can sometimes seem like a lost art. However, those who understand its profound role in our lives recognize that patience is not a passive waiting, but an active and powerful force that shapes the course of our experiences. When we practice patience, we are practicing trust. Trust in the universe, in the timing of life, and in our own inner wisdom. It is a deep knowing that everything we desire is already on its way, even if we cannot yet see it. Patience allows us to stay centered, grounded, and open while the unseen forces are working behind the scenes to bring our desires into reality. It is easy to lose sight of this when things aren't happening as quickly as we would like. But in moments of impatience, we forget that what we are waiting for is already in the process of becoming. The seeds we plant in our minds and hearts are growing, even if we cannot yet see the shoots breaking through the soil. Patience is also the antidote to anxiety. When we are impatient, we create tension in our bodies and minds. The anxiety of wanting something so badly, of expecting it now, disrupts our peace and clouds our judgment. But when we practice patience, we allow ourselves to be present with what is. We give ourselves permission to stop rushing and to appreciate the journey. We cease chasing after outcomes and instead align ourselves with the natural flow of life. In doing so, we create a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that we are exactly where we need to be. Patience teaches us that we don't need to force things to happen. Everything will unfold in due time. Patience also allows us to develop resilience. When things are taking longer than we expect, or when obstacles arise, it can be tempting to give up or abandon our dreams. But patience encourages us to stay the course. It teaches us that challenges are not barriers but stepping stones on the path to success. The more patient we are, the more we learn to navigate obstacles with grace and determination. Instead of seeing delays as setbacks, we begin to view them as opportunities for growth. The road to success is rarely linear, and patience is the quality that helps us persevere through the ups and downs. When we practice patience, we also open ourselves to the possibilities that exist beyond our limited expectations. Often, impatience comes from a rigid attachment to a specific outcome, a narrow vision of what we think should happen. But when we let go of that attachment and allow ourselves to wait with an open heart, we give the universe space to surprise us with something even better than we could have imagined. Patience helps us detach from the need to control every detail and allows us to trust that the universe knows what is best for us. It invites us to surrender our limited perspective and embrace the unknown. The key to patience is not simply waiting, it is how we wait. Waiting in frustration, fear, or anger only creates more resistance. But waiting with faith, trust, and a positive attitude creates an energetic alignment with our desires. It is not about sitting back and doing nothing, it is about taking inspired action when it is required, and being at peace during the moments when no action is needed. Patience is the recognition that everything has its time, and when the time is right, the path will become clear. When we trust in the process of life and allow ourselves the gift of patience, we open the door to greater things. We learn to live fully in the present moment, knowing that the future is being created with every thought, every action, and every choice we make. We understand that our desires are already in motion, and the only thing required of us is to remain open, steady, and patient as they come into being. Patience is the key that unlocks the flow of abundance, peace, and fulfillment. By cultivating patience, we align ourselves with the natural rhythms of life and trust that everything we desire is already on its way. When we try to control everything around us, we are essentially resisting the natural order of things. Control stems from a place of fear that things will not turn out the way we want them, fear that we are not capable of handling uncertainty, or fear that we are not enough as we are. The more we attempt to control our circumstances, the more we tighten our grip, creating tension within ourselves and the world around us. This resistance only increases the struggle. It is akin to trying to hold on to water with our bare hands. No matter how tightly we grip, the water slips away, and we are left feeling frustrated and exhausted. When we release control, we create space for trust, faith, and flow, trusting that everything is unfolding as it should, even when we don't have a clear picture of how or when it will happen, is the foundation of true freedom. Releasing control means accepting that there are forces at work far beyond our comprehension. It is recognizing that the universe operates in its own timing, and that sometimes what we think we need right now is not necessarily what we are ready for. It is about surrendering to the flow of life and allowing the process to unfold in a way that aligns with our highest good. One of the first steps in releasing control is acknowledging that we do not have the power to control everything. We can control our actions, our thoughts, and our responses, but there are many things beyond our influence. People, circumstances, outcomes, these things are not within our domain of control. The more we try to control them, the more we create resistance, and the more we find ourselves in situations that feel draining and unproductive. The simple truth is that we cannot control other people's thoughts, feelings, or actions. We cannot control the timing of events or how others perceive us. When we accept this, we free ourselves from the need to control, and in doing so, we open ourselves to the potential of what can unfold. Releasing control also requires us to let go of the need for perfection. We often try to control every detail in our lives because we believe that by doing so, we can create the ideal outcome. We think that if we just manage things carefully enough, we can avoid mistakes or challenges. However, this mindset only keeps us stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction, as we constantly chase an ideal that is impossible to attain. Life is not perfect, and no matter how much we plan, things will not always go according to our expectations. The beauty of life lies in its imperfections and its unpredictability. When we release control, we accept that life will unfold as it needs to, and that the unexpected moments are often the ones that bring us the greatest growth and joy. Letting go of control allows us to embrace the present moment. When we are focused on trying to control the future, we are missing the beauty and wisdom of the present. The only moment that truly exists is the now, and by releasing control, we free ourselves to be fully present with what is happening in our lives right now. We stop obsessing over what might happen or what we think should happen, and instead, we open ourselves to the possibilities that exist in this very moment. This shift in focus from controlling the future to embracing the present allows us to experience life in its fullness, without the pressure of constantly managing and planning for what's next. Releasing control is also an invitation to deepen our trust in ourselves. When we let go of the need to micromanage every outcome, we create space to trust in our own abilities to handle whatever comes our way. Trusting ourselves means believing that we are resourceful, capable, and resilient, even in the face of uncertainty. It means understanding that no matter what happens, we have the strength to navigate challenges and make the best of any situation. By surrendering control, we affirm our inner strength and wisdom, knowing that we are never truly powerless. This process also invites us to trust the process of life. The universe has its own intelligence, and while we may not always understand why things unfold the way they do, we can trust that everything happens for a reason. Releasing control opens us to the deeper knowing that life is working for us, not against us. We are not victims of circumstance, but participants in a larger unfolding story. The more we release our need to control the details, the more we allow life to guide us toward the people, opportunities, and experiences that are meant for us. The freedom that comes with releasing control is profound. It allows us to move through life with ease, trusting that the right outcomes will come at the right time. It removes the burden of constantly trying to predict, manipulate, or force things into being. When we release control, we stop fighting against the current of life and instead learn to flow with it. In doing so, we discover that what we have been seeking has always been available to us, not through force or effort, but through surrender and trust. By letting go of control, we align ourselves with the natural rhythm of life, allowing ourselves to receive all that is meant for us in the most beautiful and effortless way. Faith is the invisible force that shapes our reality. It is not simply a belief in something greater than ourselves, but an active force that drives us to bring our desires into existence. When we have faith, we are not just wishing for something to happen, we are aligning ourselves with the powerful current of the universe, trusting that what we desire is already on its way. Faith is the unwavering confidence that the outcome we seek is already in motion, even when we cannot yet see the results. It is the deep belief that the unseen is just as real as the visible, and that what we imagine is just as valid as what we experience in the physical world. Your faith makes it happen because it dictates the energy and the actions that you take in pursuit of your desires. Faith is not passive, it requires us to act as though what we desire is already ours. It is through this alignment of thought, belief, and action that we begin to attract the circumstances and opportunities that will bring our desires into fruition. The power of faith lies in the certainty with which we hold our vision. When we have faith, we do not doubt that our dreams are possible. We know, without question, that they are already in the process of becoming. This knowing is what gives us the strength to keep moving forward, even in the face of obstacles or challenges. Our thoughts and beliefs are powerful tools for manifesting our desires, but it is our faith that fuels them. Faith is the bridge between our desires and our reality. It is the energy that turns our thoughts into actions and our actions into results. When we have faith, we align ourselves with the energy of abundance, believing that there is more than enough for everyone, including us. This belief opens the door to opportunities, resources, and support that we might have otherwise overlooked or dismissed. Faith removes the barriers that we place in our own minds, allowing us to see the limitless possibilities that exist in every situation. To manifest our desires, we must cultivate unwavering faith in the unseen. It is not enough to just hope that something will happen. We must know, deep within ourselves, that it is already on its way. This knowing is what sets us apart from those who are merely wishing for change, rather than actively creating it. Faith requires us to step outside of our comfort zones, to take risks, and to trust that the universe will provide for us when we take bold steps toward our dreams. It is this unwavering belief in our own power and the power of the universe that makes all things possible. Gratitude is a powerful, transformative force. It is often seen as a simple feeling of thankfulness, but in reality it is far more profound than that. Gratitude has the ability to trigger powerful shifts in our minds, our hearts, and our lives. When we practice gratitude, we activate a vibration within ourselves that attracts more of what we are thankful for. It is not just about acknowledging the good in our lives, but about cultivating a mindset and energy that draws in even more abundance, joy, and fulfillment. Gratitude is a trigger, a catalyst that sets in motion a chain of events that can radically change our experiences and circumstances. When we express gratitude, we shift our focus from what is lacking to what is abundant. In a world that often encourages us to focus on what we don't have, gratitude invites us to recognize what we already possess. It is a reminder that we are already surrounded by blessings, whether big or small, and that we have much to be thankful for. This shift in perspective is powerful because it allows us to see the world through a lens of abundance rather than scarcity. The more we focus on what we are grateful for, the more we begin to attract additional blessings into our lives. It is as if gratitude opens a door to greater opportunities, experiences, and relationships. It is the trigger that activates the law of attraction, drawing positive energy toward us. But gratitude is not just about what we have, it is also about who we are. When we cultivate a sense of gratitude within ourselves, we acknowledge our own worthiness and strength. Gratitude is a reflection of self-love, as it shows that we recognize and appreciate the gifts we have within us. This self-recognition creates a ripple effect in our lives, attracting people, situations, and opportunities that reflect the same appreciation and respect. Gratitude reminds us that we are deserving of good things, and when we believe we are worthy, we begin to experience more of what we desire. It is a powerful reminder that we are enough as we are, and that we do not need to seek approval or validation from outside sources. Also has the ability to shift our emotional state. When we focus on the things we are grateful for, we immediately begin to feel a sense of peace, joy, and contentment. This emotional shift is crucial because our emotions are directly connected to our experiences. When we are in a state of gratitude, we attract more situations that make us feel happy, fulfilled, and satisfied. Our emotional state acts as a magnet, drawing experiences that match the energy we are emitting. By choosing gratitude, we are essentially choosing to feel good, and in doing so, we set the stage for more positive experiences to flow into our lives. Gratitude is a tool that allows us to take control of our emotional state, helping us to move away from negativity, fear, and anxiety, and into a place of positivity and abundance. The impact of gratitude goes beyond our emotional state. It also affects our physical health. Numerous studies have shown that practicing gratitude can lead to improved well-being, better sleep, and even stronger immune systems. When we are grateful, our bodies respond by releasing feel-good hormones like dopamine and serotonin, which help to reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and improve overall health. Gratitude helps us to relax and let go of tension, which is crucial for maintaining a healthy body and mind. It creates an environment within us where healing can take place, both physically and emotionally. This connection between gratitude and health highlights the importance of incorporating gratitude into our daily lives as a way of nurturing not just our emotional state, but also our physical well-being. Another powerful aspect of gratitude is its ability to improve our relationships. When we express gratitude to others, we are essentially acknowledging their value and contribution to our lives. This simple act of recognition fosters connection, deepens bonds, and promotes a sense of trust and mutual respect. When we show gratitude, we inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of positivity and appreciation. Relationships thrive when both parties feel valued, and gratitude is one of the most effective ways to communicate that value. It strengthens our connections and encourages open, authentic communication, which is the foundation of any strong relationship. Gratitude also encourages us to be present. When we take the time to express thankfulness, we must first pause and acknowledge the moment we are in. This mindfulness helps us to appreciate the present without dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. It brings us into alignment with the present moment, where true fulfillment lies. Gratitude shifts our attention away from the distractions and stresses of daily life, allowing us to fully experience the richness of each moment. It is an invitation to be present, to savor the little things, and to appreciate the beauty in every moment. The practice of gratitude is not just a one-time exercise, it is a way of life. It is something we can incorporate into our daily routine, whether through simple acts of kindness, journaling, or verbal expressions of thanks. The more we practice gratitude, the more it becomes ingrained in our mindset and our energy. It becomes a natural part of who we are, and as a result, it becomes the lens through which we view the world. Gratitude is a habit that, when nurtured, continues to grow and expand, bringing more and more blessings into our lives. Gratitude is not just a response to the good things in our lives, it is a powerful trigger that creates a ripple effect of positivity, abundance, and well-being. It shifts our focus, elevates our emotional state, improves our physical health, strengthens our relationships, and brings us into the present moment. Gratitude has the ability to transform our lives in profound ways, and the more we practice it, the more we open ourselves up to the endless blessings that the universe has to offer. It is the trigger that activates the flow of abundance, and by embracing it fully, we create a life filled with joy, fulfillment, and limitless possibilities. In conclusion, gratitude is not just a practice, it is a powerful force that can transform every aspect of our lives. By choosing to focus on what we are thankful for, we activate a positive energy that attracts even more blessings into our experience. It shifts our mindset, enhances our emotional and physical well-being, strengthens our relationships, and brings us into the present moment where true fulfillment resides. When we embrace gratitude as a daily habit, we align ourselves with the abundant flow of the universe. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you, and may your life be filled with endless gratitude and blessings.